In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. These are the closing days of the 41st millennium. The 13th Black Crusade tears through the Aegis Ocularis, the space surrounding the dreaded Eye of Terror. Worlds burn as chaos makes a push for holy terror, the ashes of Cadia flowing in its wake as the combined might of the Imperium desperately tries to stem the tide. The ever-opportunistic forces of the galaxy, Eldari, Drukhari, Orcs, and worse besides, make their own plays for glory, dominance, and survival. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 features 3 grand campaigns controlling 5 factions.
This is Commodore Treveau. Chaos forces have launched a full-scale planet strike,
offering Imperial, Tyranid, and Necron perspectives on the greatest conflict to ever befall the Milky Way.
Surrender, or be destroyed.
Each tells its own unique story, with individual mechanics and completely different ships and strategies available.
Lord Inquisitor, our forward explorers have located a Tyranid biovessel.
The Aegis Ocularis is divided into sectors, and each sector contains multiple systems. You begin with a small fleet and control of just one system. From there, you must expand across the entire Eye of Terror.
Admiral Spire, you are late. We have held vigil over Antharic's forces for many days.
They have unique attributes, be it an agri-world that helps your other systems grow, or an Adeptus Mechanicus research lab that improves your ships. With chaos flooding the galaxy, it's up to you to reclaim these worlds and put them to work for your faction.
See what has washed up on the Eye of Terror's tides. Admiral Spire.
In the Imperium campaign, you control the combined fleet of Admiral Spire. He brings together Adeptus Mechanicus, Space Marine, and Imperial Navy ships as one final bulwark to fight against the coming of Abaddon.
A masterful plan. The Tyranids are a new foe to Gilliman.
Peace is not an option. You will fight battles of ever-increasing scale, reclaiming territory and using it to fuel your war machine. Upgrade ships and your fleet. Pick your preferred playstyle from the massive selection of ships available. The enemy will not leave you to your riches, so prepare defenses and secure your most valuable systems as best you can. Build new fleets and assign new admirals to continue your expansion and win the war.
To submit is folly.
Necron needs are very different. Great tombs and buried docks to be opened and unearthed. Pylons to push back chaos, and mysteries of the galaxy to be unlocked. The Tyranids' rapacious appetite and need for destruction manifests in a completely different set of galaxy map mechanics. They deploy vanguard forces to infiltrate systems long before they arrive. Once taken over, worlds are consumed over time. This slowly reduces their output until nothing but ash, bones, and biomass remain of once great colonies. Each faction also has a unique narrative arc as they rise to control or decimate the Aegis Ocularis.
We shall prevail in the Emperor's name.
All 3 are totally separate, totally new storylines for Warhammer 40,000. They take the galaxy, its heroes and villains, in new, unforeseen directions.
It shall be as you say.
While Imperial and Necron characters explain their goals and motivations during their campaigns, the Tyranid story is told through those that Hive Fleet Leviathan comes into contact with. This shows how fear, desperation, and infighting can doom entire species.
We have encountered a Tyranid hive fleet. Impossible as it seems, our situation has grown worse.
There can be no forgiveness for what you are about to attempt.
As you progress, annihilation arcs will grant the opportunity to wipe out other factions from the map. This will stop them creating new fleets and attacking your power bases, giving you much needed respite and revenge. Throughout it all, you will be taking part in spectacular battles, including special scripted missions featuring the biggest, baddest ships of the 40k universe. Reboot Gilliman's Gloriana.
We shall render it to dust.
Orcs hunting space whales.
Orcs is a beast!
The Tyrannid Ancient One. And many more make an appearance through the campaigns. All this playable in co-op, with each player controlling half the fleet in each battle. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 is a massive experience, with hours upon hours of missions and narrative for each of the 3 campaigns. This is on top of the 12 factions in ranked multiplayer, skirmish, and 2v2. They have all their own skills, upgrades, sub-factions, settings, nigh infinite possible maps, and much more. The Aegis Ocularis awaits. Pre-order now to make sure you get a glimpse of the campaign in the second beta for Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2.
Hello guys, this is LoTech Gaming Up. So the campaign trailer finally came out today. It's really cool. And we're just going to take a look at, what is it? Everything that's been kind of just covered within the trailer, so a little in-depth look, I guess, just based off of the images we've seen here. So, what is it? It's kind of interesting. So we're going to be fighting in, well, kind of new, everyone knew that we're fighting with 3 campaigns. If you played the beta itself, you could see the, what is it, the 3 campaigns aside from the prologue. We're going to be fighting as the Imperium, the Necrons, and the Tyrannids, I believe, yes. We're going to be fighting over the 12 sectors or so surrounding the Eye of Terror itself, which is kind of cool. Now, I mean, I guess I kind of wanted to have a more of an outreach around the Eye of Terror, so it seems that the immediate vicinity around the Eye of Terror would probably just be consumed by chaos for the most part. As soon as, what is it, the Cadian Gate was destroyed and the Eye of Terror just cut the entire galaxy in half, so we'll have to see how the campaign goes. So maybe this is immediately afterwards, so it probably would have to be, but we'll have to see what happens. Now, interesting thing of note, so just looking at this, is, what is it? These over here, so I'm assuming that these are either escalation phases or so, or maybe it's the result of the campaign, maybe winning enough victories causes you to win, or maybe it's like the Planet Lost Council in the first Battlefleet Gothic Armada campaign. Well, essentially you lose enough territories and you just lose, essentially. You lose the entire campaign, so maybe that's what it is, or maybe it's a win count. I frankly have no idea what it means, so at this point in time. Yeah, no, it's, no, I mean, I've undertoned it, but it is actually really, really big, so, because these are all just sectors, essentially, so these are almost akin to the different, like, sectors in Battlefleet Gothic Armada 1s. Well, instead of getting 5 or 6, we're getting 12, so double the scale, essentially. I mean, in terms of sectors, these are massive, essentially. They have all these different planets, these systems that you can fight over, some more valuable than others. It's very interesting stuff here. You even have the ability to go ahead and fortify them if you wish. So you can put defense platforms, and you can put like space stations around them or so with the cost of some resources, which is kind of cool. So it makes it more of like an actual grand strategy rather than the constant firefighting that you did in Battlefleet Gothic Armada 1, which is kind of cool. So that is also really interesting. So I'd love to see how that goes. What else? Let's see. So this is a look at the upgrade tree over here. Kind of cool, kind of nice. What is it? So, this is what I'm mostly concerned about from a scale perspective, and also technical perspective, because I know what the limitations are. So, let me just explain. So, overall, this is a screen on the progression of your campaign. You can apparently have up to 15 fleets or so as you level up. You can make your fleets, you can add ships to them, you can add, various upgrades to them. Upgrades that you don't get in the, in multiplayer, from what I can tell just by looking at them. I guess you can also unlock, different ship classes from the screen as well. Though this is clearly work in progress still, as I'm pretty sure the Necrons don't have access to, Dauntless class battle cruisers and Gothic battle cruisers, so this is still a work in progress upgrade screen. But if we go to this picture over here, this shows a wide variety of the shipyard mechanic, how you can make, add more ships to your fleets. Essentially, you use resources to build more ships, as well as to upgrade planets as well. It's really cool. It's really nice, but this is what I'm more concerned about. That's what I was talking about a couple minutes ago. So, I'm wondering if, for at least the Imperium or the Tyranids or the Necrons, there is because from what I can tell, you can control multiple different fleets, essentially, and you can have multiple different fleets actually take part in the same battle. I'm wondering if there's a cap on this, depending on how many ships or what the individual fleet's capacity is. If there isn't, that would be awesome, but I'm pretty sure no one's computer could handle having these massive engagements, unfortunately. Anything over, I have a GTX 1080 Ti with like 32 gigabytes of RAM. I think the only thing holding my computer back is the fact that it doesn't have the best CPU. It only has, I think, 4.2 gigahertz of CPU power. But other than that, it's a high-level PC, and in most of the engagements, unless they've optimized it to hell since the first beta, it's not going to be able to handle anything more than maybe, 1,500 points worth of ships, etc. Anything more than that, and it's just going to break the game on my PC, let alone anyone else's. So most likely, we'll only see 3 of these small fleets working together. That's what we see in, bam, there we go, this picture over here. And even these fleets weren't even maxed out. Either they took heavy casualties, or they just had a small engagement with one Ultima Machine ship, one Mechanicus ship, and then a fairly huge Imperium fleet, essentially. So it is, it's going to be interesting to see if you can in fact expand the capacity of these fleets, as well as if you can in fact bring these fleets together to fight against other fleets or defend systems, essentially, in one battle, or if it will be like a turn battle where like you fight the enemy fleet once with one fleet and then you fight it with another fleet, and so on and so forth, or if you can pick and choose which fleet goes up against each other fleet or so, turning to these massive switcheroo battles between these two giant armadas where they take casualties. One thing to note, let's see, going to this screenshot over here, fleets take damage, they need to be repaired, but also it is interesting to note that I believe, let's see, not with them, I think, what is it? I think I might have been wrong. I could have sworn that I saw like a yeah, so like this fleet over here has like 1,000. Yeah, so this also has credence to what I think as well, because of the fact that this fleet apparently has over 1,000 points worth of vessels over here. So say if we take that fleet and then we take this fleet over here, which almost has 1,000 points worth of ships as well, can they fight together, or are they going to be forced to take turns fighting an enemy or so and be unable to engage with another? Because I'm sure that won't be able to happen due to the mechanics of the game, and on top of that, just the technical level of the game itself. But yeah, no, it's kind of sad that we can't get like these 3 or 4 massive fleets all engaged in one fleet at the same time. So it would destroy the game, but it would be awesome. Something to take note in the future or so, because on a technical scale, the game is beautiful to look at. It has really good quality. It's just that I guess it doesn't have enough different textures and layers. So like you can't zoom out and have like a low enough poly ship to actually get a sense of, oh, it kind of looks cool from a distance, but it doesn't have so much to the point where it just breaks the game or so when you're trying to win a bunch of ships. It doesn't have too many layers, essentially, of different like poly textures, allowing you to have more ships displayed while also having a good quality or so. I mean, I would take the quality hit or so in terms of textures, just if I could have larger fleets, but no, I think that's going to be a little immersion breaking, essentially. It's like, imagine a scenario where you have this giant Tyranid fleet coming after you. You want to send your entire fleet to deal with them, but unfortunately you have these 1,000-point medium fleets that you can't get to work together because they are just they refuse to actually fight in the same battle. It's kind of immersion breaking, at least for me, but I understand why that exists. So it's okay. It's alright. What is it? This screen over here shows the kind of how you make different fleets, essentially. So you can make a Imperial fleet, a Space Marine fleet, and an Adeptus Mechanicus fleet. I think you can mix and match some of them to a degree. Like you can have, I'm not sure if it's like for the Imperium or Spire's particular fleet, where you can add Adeptus Mechanicus and Space Marine fleet elements to them, or ships to them, kind of trying to make the best of both worlds in terms of all the factions, which is kind of cool. I find it interesting that the actual admirals themselves, looking at them, they have different abilities or so. I'm wondering if you can mix and match or change them or so. You can obviously upgrade the ship. It would be terrible to have that one little light cruiser be your admiral's ship, but it would be nice if you could like customize all the different skill sets and whatnot. What else do we have here? Let's see. No, this is yeah, a picture of like it more in action. So you have like the different fleets and those strengths essentially. So these are like medium fleets essentially that you can fight over. Talking about the campaigns themselves, this is a blurry picture, ignore that. Yeah, so with the different campaigns, they're gonna have different narratives. So the Imperium of Man's campaign is gonna be following Spire and his quest to rally all the Imperial forces together to fight against Abaddon's Black Crusade. There's also apparently Tyranids showing up out of nowhere, so apparently the tendrils of High Fleet Leviathan somehow got to the Eye of Terror as well, for some reason, just bypassing Holy Terror itself just to like have a cameo here, which is kind of weird in my opinion. So narratively it's kind of cool. I'm not sure, I didn't read the, what is it called, the Rising Storm set of books that take place during this time period or so through the destruction of Cadia, destruction of what is it? The Dark Eldor's homeworld. I can't. It starts with the C. I can't remember it. Kolgoth or something, and then through the awakening of both Gilliman or so, and his track all the way to Terra, as well as his fights against Traitor Primarchs essentially. No, it takes place. Is it Eye of the Storm? I can't remember. Anywho, yeah, so basically he just has to rally everyone against Abaddon's 13th Black Crusade, which is... it's interesting. It's kind of cool. Kind of want to see what's... because, like, apparently according to the previous trailer, he was lost in the warp for, what was it, 800 years or something? So... kind of be interesting to see what he has to say about the whole estate, because he fought in the... well, I can't remember which one was the Gothic War. It was either the 12th or the 11th Black Crusade. So he has a bone to pick with Abaddon and vice versa as well. So that'd be interesting to see the banter surrounding them. I kind of... what is it? I kind of would have rather had, well, let me go to the Necron Crusade, or the Necron campaign. So the Necron campaign is supposed to explore the, I think it's going to have a more Necron and Eldar focused narrative, as well as it's going to have, what is it? It's going to have that one guy who is, like, collecting all the different factions in his private collection. I can't remember his name, so I read up on his lore a little bit. He's kind of like a collector. He likes to get specific items from like certain situations and elements or so. He's kind of an interesting guy or so. I mean, it's kind of different because of the fact that I was introduced to Warhammer 40k through the Dawn of War games back in my middle school time. So, what is it? And my initial reactions to the Necron was that they were just space zombies or so, space robot zombies, trying to kill everything, essentially. But it seems that they have a more gravitas and more character to them, which is kind of interesting. So I'm actually fascinated to see how this campaign goes or so. I really don't know much about it. So no, it's interesting. So let me just finish off with the Tyranid campaign, which is essentially eat everything, and the narrative is going to be focused entirely around everyone saying, "Oh no, the Tyranids are here. What are we going to do? They're eating everyone. Oh my god." No, that's basically the narrative. The Tyranids just come out of nowhere and nom-nomming everyone, which is kind of interesting. So it's nice to get more of like you being the soul-crushing, like what is it, Lovecraftian horror coming out, and then everyone else being like, what are we going to do? How are we going to deal with this? And you're just like consuming everyone. I mean, if they haven't fixed ordnance actions, it's just going to be a mixture of... actually, it's just going to be a mixture of you just... what is it? Killing everyone on board and just having these wrecks move across the battlefield, which will get probably boring after a while or so. Unless, like, they really step up the resistance against you, which is kind of cool. But overall, we have these 3 campaigns. One is... the Imperium one is going to be straightforward, kind of just like Battlefleet Gothic Armada. One's, well, you have to fight against Abaddon and then everyone else trying to troll you or so. Orcs trying to get in and trying to stop you from fighting off against the chaos, while also trying to get everyone to work together. Maybe we'll have some insurrections or so. Some Renegade Space Marine chapters, some Mechanicus fleets saying, hey, screw it, Imperium is doomed. Long live Chaos. And of course we'll have the Insurrectionist Imperium forces, because of course the Imperium can't keep itself together during a Chaos invasion. The next one, the campaign focusing more along a more interesting mix of, what is it, all these events taking place. What is our place in it? We need to keep Chaos at bay while also seeing what the Imperium is up to, and also probably trying to keep the Tyranids at bay. And then the Tyranid campaign where we're just eating everyone. So it's going to be interesting to see how all these campaigns go. It's, what is it? It's going to be interesting, I have to say this. But all this is conjecture. I haven't played the campaign yet. I'm going to do a play on all 3 campaigns before I get multiplayer just running non-stop afterwards, I guess. It's going to be interesting. I'm waiting to see what type of changes they have made to the overall multiplayer aspect or so. I wonder if they've nerfed the Tyranids or so, buffed the Space Marines. It should overall be fun. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on all of this. And yeah, I will catch you guys next time.